Go with the fractured leg, it will not say, no, this is a TB X-ray. The X-ray will also, we are integrating the services.
A number of activities have been lined up to create awareness about TB and leprosy ahead of the World TB Day slated for 24th of this month. Uganda remains one of the top 30 countries globally with the high burden of TB, and this implies that more efforts are required to counter this infectious disease. Adia Nakuti, UBC.
UBC News Tonight. The Parliamentary Committee on Health has expressed its dissatisfaction with the slow pace at which the National Referral Hospital Mulago is being constructed. This has happened during a meeting with officials from Ministry of Health, Rocco Construction Limited and the Mulago Hospital Administration. Samula Hanifa has more to this.
Last week, the Minister of Health presented to the Parliamentary Committee on Health a supplementary budget of 1.9 billion shillings to cater for 5 items, which included inspection of the specialized war hospital, among others. These were tasked to go back and prioritize Mulago Hospital, which was missing on the list. The State Minister for Health, Hanifa Kawoya, presented a request of 50 billion shillings for the completion of the country's referral hospital.
While Mulago signed the contract in September, which they are going to see, Minister of Health required funding from the Minister of Finance. This funding has not yet come. So it's our prayer that we are here to see how you help the ministry to get these fundings so that we come to the completion of construction of Mulago.
However, members of the Parliamentary Committee on Health were not pleased with the request, saying that it is unacceptable for the minister to just bring a non-headed paper to request a serious matter.
You know how many Ugandans are suffering, how many of them line up, how many of them are dying simply because of some of these messes by the technical desk.
According to the legislators, the country's National Referral Hospital is in a dire state, yet money was appropriated to complete the work, and it's coming to 10 years with no work done.
Somebody to work. That is either giving us substandard work or he's stealing money from somewhere. I don't know why the contractor is not being paid. And I think there was an overdraw of a certificate by Ministry of Health. You owe him money to a certain extent, and I think in our last report it was flagged up.
On the other hand, the chairperson of Rocco Construction Limited told the committee that they were challenged in the past, especially in the time of COVID-19, but they have resumed work and only waiting for government to allocate them a consultant.
In terms of what we failed to complete in 2020 when we had the challenges, that's why we said, in good faith, let's go ahead and do some work in the hospital. So that we can progress the completion while the consultants are being onboarded.
Zahara Abigaba, Gloria Gutabinji for UBC News.
Meteorologists predict that Uganda expects stormy heavy rains between this March through April across the country. According to Michael Lubega, the senior weather observer from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority, landslides will also be witnessed in areas of Mountain Elgon.
Wetland communities spent sleepless nights due to floods caused by heavy rains. In an exclusive interview with UBC, Michael Lubega, senior weather observer from Uganda National Meteorological Authority, discloses that heavy rains and thunderstorms are expected this March through April.
People they can always utilize this opportunity during this period of time when it has started raining. Then the month of June and July, that one is normally a dry season. And then June, July, up to around mid-August. Then September, October, November comprises the second part of our season.
He advises wetland and mountain communities to vacate before the situation worsens.
People who are in swamp, in wetlands, they should always vacate because this rain is going to be a little bit heavy, and they might lose a lot of their property. Sometimes they even lose their lives. So the best thing would be to vacate or leave those swampy areas.
This appeal arises at a time when Uganda Kingdom, through its Katikiro, Peter Maiga, condemned those who degrade wetlands.
We breathe oxygen, we drink water. These are the kind of things that you have in abundance if you mind the environment. The minister talked about our totems. Most of them, of course, you know, they are found in the different natural settings that we have in the country. So if we don't mind the environment, then there is nothing you are going to leave to the future generations.
Farmers have also been advised to start planting.
During this period of time, we expect people to start planting because it has started raining, and we expect this rain to be on its peak in the mid of around April. It will be in its peak, and then toward the end of May it will be actually ending.
Jane Nyoramchia, Andrew Sebira, UBC News.
Over 8 million people have passed through the universal primary education, with over 2,000 joining higher institutions of learning annually. This has been disclosed by the State Minister for Primary Education, Joyce Muriku Kaduchu, at Universal while meeting members of the Universal Primary Education Graduates Association in Kampala ahead of the 25-year celebrations of UPE. Dr. Joyce Muriku Kaduchu says that government is to standardize the profession.
Celebration of the 25 years of universal primary education comes at a time when the teacher ratio has increased, with 136,819 primary teachers. Representing the Vice President, Minister Kaduchu said education is a shared responsibility and urged parents to register their children and provide parental guidance.
The moral values, the spiritual ethics. We're now talking about homosexuality. Well, our act has really captured this matter. You as a parent, it's your duty to promote moral values to this child, to promote Christianity, spiritual values.
Kaduchu says government has invested in teacher training, infrastructure development and curriculum reform for children to receive the best possible education. However, she highlighted the increasing dropout numbers of children, girls being affected by COVID-19, among others.
They were exposed to teenage pregnancy and early child marriage. Many of these girls may never ever get a second chance to get back to school. Realizing these challenges, the Ministry of Education and Sports has undertaken a number of initiatives, including development and implementation of the guidelines for the prevention and management of teenage pregnancy in school setting.
Government has been asked to improve teachers' welfare, fight corruption and cater for government school infrastructure.
Teachers' welfare and salaries. This is really bad. Okay. You find someone earning 87 M, but the teacher is earning 800.
Having done which course?
Yes.
Having done which course?
And that person is taught by a teacher regardless of the course they did.
The minister launched a high-level dialogue on universal primary education in commemoration of the International Day on Education and 25 years Silver Jubilee of Universal Education. Relatedly, the Director Basic and Secondary Education, Ismail Mulindwa, says a number of children in rural areas do not have access to quality education. Mulindwa condemned the alleged immorality in schools and said teams have been dispersed to investigate cases of alleged homosexuality in schools.
It's a monster. And what we are doing, we are following up. Because as we talk now, some of these are just rumors. until when we have verified some of the so-called rumors to have a clear picture of what is happening in schools.
The International Day on Education and 25 years Silver Jubilee of Universal Education celebration is slated for Friday this week. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Uganda has today joined the rest of the world to mark this year's World Consumer Rights Day under the theme Clean Energy Transitions. Though no official celebrations were held to mark the day in Uganda, this time the UNBS Public Relations Officer Sylvia Chirabo, together with the UNBS Standard Officer Barbara Atim, explained the significance of the day and the relevance of the theme.
As Uganda joins the rest of the world in marking this year's World Consumer Rights Day, more sensitization of the masses on the importance of using environmentally friendly and renewable energy sources with zero emissions to the atmosphere should be emphasized. The use of renewable clean energy sources is in line with this year's theme of ensuring clean energy transitions. As the Uganda National Bureau of Standards Public Relations Officer Sylvia Chirabo and UNBS Standards Development Officer Barbara Atim explain.
In Uganda, as UNBS, we also join the world to celebrate and mark the World Consumer Rights Day. And as you're all aware, UNBS is one of the government institutions that play a key role in promoting consumer safety and also ensuring that our consumers are getting products that are certified and of good quality.
So it's very important that the consumer transitions from those fossil-based energy sources like coal and kerosene to clean energy sources like solar, biogas, LPG for their own health. So that is very important.
However, there are still some challenges in realizing the objectives of this year's theme.
Looking at why we should be able to focus on the new energy sources.
As making a lot of assumptions from what they hear from outside instead of coming to the right source, which is UNBS, to get educated.
According to the World Health Organization, household pollution was responsible for an estimated 3.2 million deaths in 2020, where 237,000 of these were children below 5 years.
The National Curriculum Development Center and Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out the new lower secondary school curriculum in February 2020 with an aim to produce graduates with employable skills that are competitive on the labor market. Dr. Anatoli Kirigwajo, a lecturer at the Department of African Language, Makerere University, calls on education stakeholders to embrace the program.
The Directorate of Industrial Training at the Ministry of Education and Sports developed assessment and training packages to guide demand-driven training and assessment. This is to close the gap between training and the world of work. Kids Uganda, a performing group with support from Makerere University, College of Education and the Directorate of Industrial Training, is integrating history, political education, drama and local dances to boost the teaching of the new curriculum.
We have shown that there are so many different people coming from all over the world to come and migrate into this country and bring new values that we can base on to develop our economy regardless of the challenges that have happened.
In his address to the students at Buganda Heritage and Tourism Board, Mengo Anatori Chirigwajo says the new curriculum will develop a skilled country.
I appreciate the intervention whereby the little children in senior 1, senior 2 can be part of the economy that can solve challenges, learning things and then translating them into the needs of the community, the needs of the young children, and be able to contribute to the society.
Damba Andrew Chibuka, a music teacher at NTC Mubende, also the coordinator for Kids Uganda, says the new curriculum has made the education sector more practical and user-friendly.
Project must be integral a project from one subject must go into another 3 subjects. For example, here we are performing history. Within history, there is English, poetry, there is poem. Within English, there is entrepreneurship, because when students learn how to perform history, they will be paid so that other students watch. Therefore, we are teaching them how to make money out of history.
Very good. Me being a history teacher, I have seen the things that I've been teaching in class to my learners being practically viewed by the learners on stage.
Handover of Teso College Allied Secondary School has been halted over scope of works not matching the funds for its construction. State Minister for Works and Transport Musa Ichweru said in the new plan, the contractor is to remove some roofs, doors and windows, paint the walls and repair the washrooms.
Teso College Aloyet is one of the traditional O and A-level government-aided boys' school in Teso with an enrollment of 1,820 students. The school received a total sum of Ugandan shillings 4.9 billion from government for construction and renovation and contracted Cabin Engineering Limited to do the works. However, the contractor's work was unsatisfactory. The State Minister for Works and Transport, Musa Ichweru, halted the handover of the school after inspecting the works. He was shocked to see that the buildings instead needed demolishing.
We decided to stay the handing over and we go back to Kampala, and yet huge money will have been spent in the rehabilitation of the school.
Ichweru says the money spent by government should be put into proper use, adding that there should be value for money.
Teso College had its own share of destruction, all those walls. But the beauty about Teso College, it has remained resilient, very, very strong. It is better we systematically conclude some of the things so that when work starts, it's really work that will satisfy everybody.
State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, also participated in the inspection. Engineer Ronald Mugabe, the team leader of Gabican Engineering Limited, said they were guided by the State Minister for Works and Transport, Musa Ichweru, to halt the activity until they reconcile the scope of work.
We're going to go back and consult with our supervisors and superiors on the way forward, and also demobilize and wait for communication on how we can proceed.
The head teacher, TCA Julius Opaso, expressed appreciation to government for its commitment towards improvement of the education sector in the country.
You look all over, all the buildings are old and dilapidated.
The mayor of Soroti City, Joshua Edogu, said the ministers made the right decision to halt the handover.
Those gaps that have been highlighted can be fixed.
Teso College Aloyet was started in 1952 by then Teso District Local Government. Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
The most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Bara and Jinja.
We thank you so much for watching. It's now Business News Tonight. Total Energies, an oil and gas project venture partner, is investing more than $12 billion in training university graduates in a bid to build human resource capacity. The multi-energy company has inducted 200 Ugandan youth into its Tilenga Academy program, whose key objective is to fast-track the achievements of the 2025 oil production target.
Total Energies Exploration and Production Uganda has unveiled 200 Ugandan youth selected from the Tilenga Massive Open Online Courses MOOC to join the Tilenga Academy program. The initiative seeks to enhance national content.
I said congratulations, but I would like to say that it's just the beginning for you. And you have in front of you 2.5 difficult years to get certified and to digest all the skills and behaviors that will be needed to conduct, I would say, your operations.
The selected candidates will receive a 2.5 years theoretical training in oil and gas, production, maintenance, as well as health, safety and environment. Uganda Petroleum Institute Chigumba is an implementing partner of the program.
And then we will have the next 6 months where our local staff at the institute will be working with expatriates from the industry to now train these learners in their core areas of specializations. After 1 year, they will go to oil and gas sites wherever Total will deem fit, and to have practical experience in the field.
National content development is emphasized by various stakeholders in this sector as a means of achieving shared prosperity for Uganda. According to analysts, in-country value can be attained through employment of locals, local supplier development, support to education institutions, transfer of technology, knowledge and skills, among others.
The ultimate goal of this program is to ensure that some people, if not all of you, are employed at the end of that day. They are not just training you, but they have the purpose of employing you. But for them to make the decision to employ you, you also have to show that you're actually employable.
Among the beneficiary students are women who make 23% of the cohort.
I'm a biotechnologist, so I expect to incorporate my knowledge of biotechnology into the sector and also learn more about the oil. And I'm so happy that I'm going to be working with Total Energies.
While at campus, we got a couple of geologists that visited our school and encouraged us to take on such fields.
The Tilenga project is an upstream development with a capacity of 190,000 barrels of oil per day. The project is part of the Lake Albert development. Having a strong and competent human resource is obviously very important in Uganda's quest to achieve the 2025 oil production deadline. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Kampala.
The Union of European Football Associations president, that's UEFA, Alexander Catherine, is in the country on a one-day official visit. The main aim of his visit is to check on the Aliguma Foundation and the progress of Acholi Quarters projects and others geared towards promoting better livelihood for slum dwellers through football. Aliguma Foundation is a brainchild of a sports journalist, Rita Aliguma, also a former sports journalist with UBC TV. Here.
European Football Association has for long been sponsoring grassroots football development, and of recent they launched a campaign to fund third world countries. Aliguma Foundation was among those selected, together with 12 other foundations from across the globe, to benefit from the grant. Now the UEFA president, Alexander Catherine, is in the country for a one-day visit at the foundation. The primary objective of his visit is to monitor the progress of the Acholi Quarters project and different works in promoting better livelihoods in the slum communities through sports, especially football.
It was amazing. It was an emotional experience for me. I think that we should come more time to see what real life looks like. And I'm grateful to Rita and the foundation who brought us here. It's not a gift that I came, it's a gift that you received. So thank you very much.
The Aliguma Foundation has been developing talent identification among children and stepped up further by developing the multi-purpose Acholi Quarters playground, improving the structures and status of the annual Banda Slam Soccer Tournament, buying a 15-acre piece of land in Chinuma Village, Masindi District, and starting construction works at the Aliguma Foundation Sports and Empowerment Center.
Like we all know, kids of today, once you develop a kid, then you've developed a future footballer. And that's now where our emphasis is on people. Thank you so much.
Jefferin was equally excited with the progress and determined to ensure that the Uganda Best Foundation continues to change lives of the less privileged.
Rita Aliguma there, touching lives through her foundation. We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you tonight as Newsroom. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni and the whole team. We wish you the best of the night. Why? We'll have to watch Behind the Headlines at 10 p.m. So there will be no more news. For now, enjoy the rest of the night. Bye-bye and good night.
Sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're descending into Entebbe Airport. For those proceeding to Kampala City, the biggest event in East Africa is in town.
That's right. The East African Business Expo 2023 is happening from the 23rd to the 26th of March at Kololo Grounds. Join us to network, connect, and grow.